conversation focusing on a crucial yet often overlooked issue, occupational skin disease. I'm Kathy Korsnick from Peter Greven US Corporation.
And I'm Susanne Kemme from PGP in Germany. PGP is Germany's largest manufacturer of occupational skincare products with 100 years of experience in this field. And originally, I'm a chemist. I have a PhD in chemistry, and I'm speaking here as part of my scientific communication work. But in addition, I'm responsible for the international sales as well.
Well, let's start our discussion with some basic facts. Suzanne, can you tell us what occupational skin disease actually is and why it's a significant issue?
Yeah, that's quite easy. So just think about workers working 5 days a week, 8 hours a day with their hands, and they are exposed to different kind of lubricants and grease and chemicals and even water. And this frequent exposure leads to the dryness of skin and to itchiness and even bleeding of the skin. And this is so-called irritant contact dermatitis, the frequent exposure to different kinds of substances at the workplace.
So, can you elaborate on the most common types of skin disease?
Yes, it's, for example, the irritant contact dermatitis because of the exposure to different substances, as well as allergic contact dermatitis. This comes from allergic reactions to allergens of the skin.
What are some of the industries that
Mm.
are, I guess, at the greatest risk for occupational skin disease?
Yeah, when you think in general about it, it's everyone working with hands. But when you go more into the details, it's people working as mechanics, working with engines of all different kinds, but as well as people in food processing industry, cleaning people. Yeah, everyone who works with hands, really, and using gloves as well, because yes, there are many hazards and you need gloves, but never underestimate the conditions in the gloves when the people sweat a lot and they're really in their own wet conditions in the gloves.
Some basic facts we can share about occupational skin
Mm.
disease in the United States highlights how common the problems really are.
Mm.
These disorders are among some of the top non-fatal illnesses reported every year, with the Bureau of Labor Statistics estimating 15 to 18% of
Mm.
all reported occupational illnesses actually being skin disorders. Add in the fact that there is a general assumption that many skin problems go unreported. The
Mhm.
reality of those issues is really quite significant. And another important fact to mention is that the Occupational Safety and Health Administration estimates the cost of skin disease at
Mhm.
$21,000 per employee per incident. So, considering the frequency, the cost can really add up. So, Suzanne, knowing these facts, how can employers and workers start to protect themselves from occupational skin disease?
So let me go one back step. Let me talk about Europe. In Europe, this whole topic of occupational skin diseases is quite old. It's more than 50 years old now. And in these decades, we raised the awareness of skin issues at work. And that's the most important thing, that workers and employers understand that skin conditions are not normal like this. Yeah, so the people can keep healthy hands at work. And because of this awareness, we have great statistics in Europe, and the numbers are up to 30% of all occupational diseases are skin related. And that's a really high number. And as you mentioned, every person that's not able to work reduces the productivity of a company. Yeah. And then furthermore, you have to think about the quality of life. When you see someone with really severe skin issues, it hurts, it bleeds, it's not nice. And many people are ashamed of these situations. So, what can we do? First, raise the awareness. And that's why we are sitting here at the moment, to raise the awareness. And go into the company and take a look at the people hands. The people are not aware of this topic, and usually I find always a few persons in every company. And then when we talk to them, it's clear that yes, of course it hurts and they are not happy about it, but they do not know what to do. And yeah, what to do is take a look first, and then take a look at the workplace and where the people wash their hands.
And that's a really good point that I was talking about, the facts of the hard numbers, but the reality is it's so much more than that,
Yeah,
right? It includes
exactly.
the fact, I guess not disgraced, but the painful part of emotional and physical as well. So we can never like underestimate that. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
so important.
exactly. Yeah, and when you see the workplaces, I still often see in other countries, in Germany as well, at the workplace that's really dirty. And even when people use gloves, they reuse gloves and they're dirty. And then I take a look for the substances that are used. It might be lubricants. They look like water, but they're not meant to be used on the skin. They're meant for the machinery, but not for the skin. And then I go to the water basin and take a look, and what I see there is usually quite dirty, unhygienic conditions, often brushes for the hands. And these brushes, they really scrub away the horny layer of the skin and really irritate the skin, that the body loses a lot of water, and it itches and bleeding and so on. And in addition, quite often there are chemicals used to remove dirt from the skin, or even paint from the skin. But these are, for example, paint remover substances, and they're not meant to be used on the skin.
Oh, wow, yeah. So as an employer or employees
Mhm.
start kind of looking around their workplace, how should they begin addressing skin issues that they're seeing?
Yeah,
What would be those first kind of steps to get started to addressing?
talking to the workers. And if workers are listening to us now, they should talk to their bosses about the topic. And then take a look which kind of soap is used. Is it professional soap produced by professional skincare companies, or is it something they people just buy in a supermarket somewhere around? And what do they use? And take a look for the hygiene. If the workplace and the water basin is really dirty, there can be a dispenser mounted to the wall to make everything much more hygienic. And yeah, I even see soap that is really old and full of fungi, and it's really not nice condition. So first, the awareness of the topic, and second, the water basin. And the next point is to even consider, beside of the dispenser mounted to the wall, a skincare concept containing three pillars. This contains, we talk about a perfect skincare program. It contains the pre-work creams that are used to make a layer on the skin that prevents substances to enter the skin. Beside of a pre-work cream, it's really necessary to focus on the second pillar of a skincare program. It's the cleanser of the skin. And it's really important that the cleanser is as gentle as possible to the skin and as strong as necessary. Because what we experience at the workplace, that quite often far too strong cleansers are used. And these cleansers are harsh to the skin and destroy the horny layer and cause skin diseases at work. And these are again irritant contact dermatitis, not only the regular substances, but the cleansers as well. So we need to take care that the people use the right cleanser. And when you take a look for scrubbers, because when the people have really dirty hands, they use a lot of cleansers with scrubbers in it. You need to see that scrubbers do scrub the skin. They remove the dirt, but they remove the skin cells as well. So the best way to remove dirt are not the harsh scrubbers like sand or walnut shell powder you can see in the microscopic pictures, but the best way are really these wax beads made of castor oil. They are really round and they are like sponges that remove the dirt from the skin. And here when you recognize this part at the workplace, you did a great job. And that's really one most important part of the skincare program. And to sum it up, to round it up, the third pillar, the reconditioning of the skin, is important as well, to give the skin some oil and fat back and some other really important substances. So in total, to summarize it, we have the pre-work creams, the skin cleansers, and the after-work creams when we talk about the perfect skincare program. But for a first step, talk about the cleansers at work.
And so something else that I think that's worth explaining just quickly is that along with the castor oil beads, we also utilize olive seed powder, right?
Yes.
For our scrubber. So what is different from that compared to like pumice and some of these
Oh,
other
yes.
really, aggressive cleansers? Why
Yeah.
does that better or different than
Yeah.
what
Thanks.
we
Thanks
see
for
on the
mentioning.
market?
Yeah, thanks for mentioning the pumice. I forgot about this. So it's sand, pumice, and even volcano glass I see in the market, and they are really, really harsh. Just think about one thing. Would you ever wash your car with such a cleanser? I can see it from your smile, you would never do it. Yeah. So, and the people
Right.
outside who are listening to us would never wash their car with the pumice cleanser, but the people wash their hands. Why? There is no reason. It's just
Right.
because it was ever like this. So, they're really sharp, harsh edges, and they destroy the skin.
So, as we talked about, you mentioned the three pillar system.
Mhm.
Can you share any examples of an effective use of that three pillar
Yeah.
system?
Yes, of course. I'm always so grateful when I get the pictures from my customer. And here is a case of a person working with lubricants and grease without gloves at the workplace. And as you can see, the fingertips are really, it's broken skin, what you can see there. And it's really severe. And this person visited a doctor for over 1 year. But this doctor was not an occupational doctor. And this was yeah, the problem. And the person didn't recognize that the occupational issues, so the issues at the workplace, are the problem. And so what we just started is the three pillar system, just a pre-work cream, as a lighter, a better cleanser than this person had before, and an after work cream. And after 3 weeks, I really got this wonderful picture. And as you can see, it looks much, much better. And that's what we do. Prevention of occupational skin diseases. Yeah, and that makes the job so nice.
Right. And such an impressive picture when you think about it. It's just 3 weeks and what a
It's
difference
just
that
three
made,
weeks. Yeah.
and that's so, if somebody could only get started with one of the products, would you say a cleanser or a conditioning cream would be the best start?
That's the question I
I
almost
know.
get on a daily basis. But it depends on the company. Take a look for the cleanser and let us start with the cleanser. Because when we talk about pumice or sand, it's so bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
when something much better is in place, then I would go on with the afterwork cream.
Right.
Yeah, to recondition the skin, definitely. And we need to prevent chronic skin diseases, definitely. And yeah, let us start this way.
And before we talked about the costs associated with
Mhm.
occupational skin disease. So, how does that compare with the costs of implementing a skincare program?
Yeah, it's amazing. So when you think about one worker, it's around $100 per year. Yeah, and you mentioned over $20,000 when you have severe skin issues and the people cannot work any longer. So please compare this, and it's easy. And when we talk about the $100, it's the perfect situation. And yeah, it's easy.
Right. And that's preventing from, this three pillar ideas, preventing any issues from happening, hopefully, right? So
Yeah.
you're avoiding $21,000 per person per time they
Mhm.
have an
Mhm.
issue. So if it's occupationally related, it could certainly happen again if the treatment, not really the treatment, but if the skincare program lapses, correct? Like it's not like you stop the issue from
No,
happening. It it can reoccur if it's occupational in
absolutely.
nature.
Yes, and I mentioned before we need to prevent the chronic skin disease because a person with the chronic skin disease is not able to work 100%. It's not
Sure.
possible any longer, and that's the most important thing. And the skincare concept is an ongoing concept, and of course, training is very important. Yeah, and we offer, for example, skincare plans that really make the program visible at the workplace and to raise the awareness of this topic. Yeah.
So awareness training and the actual
Yeah.
products themselves all play together
Yes,
to make
yes.
it effective, right?
And
Yeah.
testing products as well, with workers. Yeah. So to make it more interactive in the whole company. Very, very important.
So to wrap up, we're obviously suggesting that a three-pillar skincare program, if implemented correctly, can significantly reduce the potential for occupational skin diseases.
Mhm.
So managing skin health really becomes a powerful tool in health and
Mhm.
safety initiatives, not something that's really, really emphasized here in the United States about that being
Yes.
part of health and safety. So just in the very simple example that we showed, um, how important that can be.
Mhm.
And so, is there anything else you'd like to kind of help, like to say as we wrap up the whole conversation here about occupational skin disease and why it's part of health and safety?
Keep your workers' hands healthy at work to keep them productive at work. That's one sentence. And it's part, in Europe, it's even part of personal protective equipment. It's not only an hygienic issue. And we have the personal protective use direction in Europe, and the pre-work creams are really mentioned as protection of the skin. So yeah, it's important to keep the people at the workplace. Yeah.
Definitely. Well, thank you for watching this conversation, and we hope you gained valuable insights for occupational skincare. For more information about Grevin products that provide solutions to workplace skincare needs, please visit www.grevinskincare.com.